Well, it's September 19th. It is the eve before my birthday, and it was very fortunate because it happens to fall upon a day off for me and Amanda. And one of the things that we're going to do in celebration is to go out Pokemon hunting in downtown Indianapolis and catch a Raikou, who, by the way, if we don't catch by the end of this month, he will disappear. So we better work fast. Come on, come on. You see, the reason that we have to come to downtown Indianapolis is because in these raid battles with a Raikou, you need like a bunch of people to play at once to battle this Raikou. The only way to defeat these monsters is with like a entourage of people who also play the game. And unfortunately, in the areas where we live, there's not too many people that do play the game. And sometimes whenever you battle the Raikou or any of the legendary beast, sometimes you'll beat them, but you won't be able to catch them. So that means you have to go find another raid to battle. And sometimes that means that you have to walk all over the city to catch them. Now, we don't necessarily know these people when we go play with them. You'll literally either do one of two things. You'll either see a group of people just hanging out together and they're all like looking at their phone. That's pretty obvious that they're playing Pokemon Go. I'm thinking of all the many times that we've been down here to catch Pokemon in Indianapolis, which has got to be a dozen times by now. I think we must have scaled this city a bunch of times by now. We know how to even walk through the entire city without stepping outside. And to be perfectly honest with you, the best place to go Pokemon hunting here in Indianapolis, I would always say the Canal. The Canal has tons of Pokemon there, mostly water type. The one thing that I love about the Canal is that there's like a ton of things to see around here. There's like the nice canal itself, and then there's like art, and there's memorials, and there's people of all kinds out here, all walks of life, exercising or just walking around. It's a really beautiful place, the Canal. I recommend you come down here if you come to Indianapolis. Well, we came down here. We didn't get to Battle of Raikou, but we definitely hit a couple of gyms. We got some beautiful scenery out here, you know, but we're going to come back and try again tomorrow, probably.
Temperature's right. It's like kind of peaceful and quiet, but unfortunately, peaceful and quiet is not the most ideal time for looking for Pokemon, but whatever. Life is more than just Pokemon, right?
You betcha.
Sometimes it's enjoying peaceful, quiet, you can hear the bugs chirping and watching the sun set behind the city over here.
Seeing the blue water fountain.
Well, it's a kind of a natural, being honest here. I've never seen water that was actually blue, but in Indiana, when you got Colts fever, apparently, it's blue. All right, well, let's just, let's see I think we're about done for the day, but
Probably for the day.
let's see what happens. You never know. Sometimes we think we're done for the day and poof. Just check it out. And if not, we'll check you later.
Adios.